3 weeks ago, they pushed aside their beach sandals and billabong shorts for a pair of cleats and a practice jersey. Painfully, they went through the grueling task of 2 days in the hot summer sun. Now, for the first time, they'll strap on their game uniform and begin a season filled with optimism. Tonight, Athletes in Motion and Cox Communications proudly presents the High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight, from Dana Hills High School in Dana Point, California, the Aliso Niguel Wolverines take on the Dana Hills Dolphins. Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Higgins, joined by Coach Bill Cunardy, and welcome to our football season here on Channel 3. And, Bill, this marks my 10th year of covering high school sports in Orange County, and I am as thrilled about this game tonight as I was back when I was covering Marinovich and Brett Johnson with El Toro in Capital Valley. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations to you and everything you've done, Paul. I know that all the people of South County, this has become an institution, and I'm thrilled to be back with you again. And I think just I've never quite seen as much enthusiasm or optimism for a football season from everybody. Doesn't matter what your team's record was last year. It's a brand new year. And I think maybe a little bit of it was the baseball strike, but people are really excited about the 1995 football season.
They sure are, and we're going to talk about the Aliso Niguel Wolverines. Last year, these two teams met over at Aliso Niguel. Aliso Niguel won that game, backed by their great quarterback, Scott Nemeth. He'll wear number 2 tonight. And on the other side of the ball, the Dana Hills Dolphins, Aaron Kaufman will be the quarterback. First, talking about Aliso Niguel, they're young. They're in Division 8 as opposed to Division 1 with the Dana Hills Dolphins.
Well, it's been a project, growing pains, a brand new school, but I think with this coaching staff that Joe Wood has, it probably hasn't been as painful as it might have been for some other brand new schools. They've got a rich tradition in just 2 years, and I think they've got terrific players, a great attitude, and watching them practice this summer a little bit, they've got some very talented players. So I think they're going to do really well this year.
On the other side of the ball, the Dana Hills Dolphins, their head coach, Trace Deneke. Now, this is his first year, real year, as the head coach because he didn't have a summer last year. The hiring was late, so he's had a full year to work with these athletes. The Dolphins are fired up. They've lost 10 in a row, and from last year, they're ready to go.
Well, trust this guy. Trace Deneke is a really terrific football coach, and if you look at what the lower levels did here and just watching these guys in warm-ups and stuff, this is a guy who knows how to coach the game. His players are disciplined. I think that the Dana Hills Dolphins are going to have a real turnaround season.
Well, it should be a great game. When we come back, Bobby Stout will join us on the sidelines, and then we'll have the opening kickoff to the 1995 high school football season as Aliso Niguel takes on the Dana Hills Dolphins. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Aliso Niguel's Wolverines versus the Dana Hills' Dolphins. Bobby Stout joins us on the sidelines with her first report tonight.
Well, thanks, Paul. Here it is, the night that we've been looking forward to for months. Finally, Friday Night Lights, and I think it's going to be a good game all around. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to a couple of the coaches about their feelings, about how they were feeling about tonight's game. First off, I talked to Trace Deneke of the Dana Hills Dolphins, and you'll see in the banners up in the stands, the biggest thing that Dana Hills is working towards tonight is pride, emotion, and power. This is a highly emotional game for Dana Hills. As Coach Deneke explained it, this is a classic case of a textbook rivalry in the making, so it's going to be an exciting game for them. By design, Dana Hills is a running team, so look for them to run the ball a lot. They feel that if they can just keep consistent on defense and keep the ball away from Scott Nemeth, the quarterback of Aliso Niguel, that they'll do pretty good. On the other side of the ball, Joe Wood from Aliso Niguel, he says that they've been preparing for this game the same as they did last year. Basically, the biggest thing they're trying to do is they're trying to progress their team. They want to eliminate all mistakes, basically just play solid football. You can expect them to mix it up a lot offensively. They have a lot of plays in the book, so look for that tonight.
Bobby, thank you very much, and we are underway at Dana Hills High School. Dana Hills will get the ball first. They'll take it out on the 20-yard line. The balloons have been released here at Dana Hills High School, and that signifies the opening for these two schools to begin their 1995 season. I'm Paul Higgins, along with Bill Cunardy, and we welcome you to Athletes in Motion and Cox Communications Game of the Week, the high school football game of the week here on Channel 3. And Bill, again, welcome back to the Game of the Week. A lot of people didn't know that you were going to be here because you're so busy with the Gauchos. We will see the Gauchos on the Game of the Week on the 21st of September. Welcome once again.
Thank you. Nice to be back with you, and nice to have you home from Hawaii. Neat to hear you and my good friend Elroy Chong last week doing the San Clemente game. You guys did a great job, and Great way to start off the high school season.
A lot of fun. Aaron Kaufman is the quarterback for Dana Hills. And they're going to come out running the ball, and they're stopped quickly at the line of scrimmage. No pickup on the game. No pickup on the play, pardon me. We'll take a look at the offense for the Dana Hills Dolphins. And again, they are looking for their first win tonight. As always, they have a good football team and a good coaching staff. Aaron Kaufman, Trottier, and Peraza in the backfield. There's the lineman, and look for Grant Howard, the right guard, to do some things tonight. Also Lewis Mora, and the wide receivers, the wideouts, Weber and McGowan. Take a look at Aliso Niguel's defense right after this. Head coach Trace Deneke of the Dolphins and Joe Wood of the Aliso Niguel Wolverines. Got a second down and 10 just underway here at Dana Hills High School. Kaufman decides to hold on to it. He's caught from behind. It looks like there's a fumble on the play. Aliso Niguel says they have the football, and they do. So on the second play from the line of scrimmage, Kaufman gets stripped of the ball coming from behind.
Paul, I'd like to see him run that offense. It's the freeze option that Nebraska's used in the past, and you saw Aaron Kaufman make a fake to the fullback and then spin and kind of freeze and read that defensive end. The only problem with the freeze option is if you get penetration from the offside. In that case, the defensive end ran the play down from the backside and caused the fumble. I think that Dana Hills can be successful with that offense, and we'll get a chance to see Aaron Kaufman run that again in just a minute. But now, Scott Nemeth and the Wolverines.
20 yards to go for a touchdown to open up the season for the Wolverines on the first play from the line of scrimmage. They get 10-plus yards, so it'll be another first down.
A double tight wing offense out of the I formation, and Coach Robbie Schmidt's running this offense down in the red zone right now, and it's a power offense when they're in this formation. I'll tell you what, they're lining up some big guys in the front, and I think their opportunity right now to punch this in for the first score of the year is pretty good. Ball's on about the 9-yard line, Paul.
Trent Purley was the man that ran with the ball for Aliso Niguel. He'll get it again. He rolls out the right side. He gets tackled inside the 5-yard line. So it'll be second down and goal to go. We'll take a look at the Aliso Niguel Wolverines lineup and let you know who they are. The quarterback, for his second year returning, Scott Nemeth, Wyatt Hayden, and Trent Purley, the man that just ran the ball twice. You see the front line, and then the wideouts for Aliso Niguel, the Wolverines wideouts. We've got Mashburn and Singleton. They can do the job. So it's second down and 5 to go, just underway in the first quarter, 9:50 to go. I formation for Aliso Niguel, man in motion. Purley gets it once again. He goes over the right side. He stopped, and then he gets maybe a half a yard before the Dolphins come up and make a nice play. So Bill will be third down.
Third down, and the ball's going to be marked on the 3-yard line by the umpire, Matt Encinas. And we've got some officials down there we've known for years, Nick Piscardo, and we had some of this crew last year at the Trabuco Hills Capital game, and they do an outstanding job of officiating. Double tight wing offense again. It's a power formation. The ball's sitting on the 3-yard line. It's third and goal for the Wolverines, Paul.
Scott Nemeth barking out the calls. And there's a fumble. And it looks as though the Dolphins are saying they have it, but no official call yet. It looks like Aliso Niguel will keep it, and this will bring up a crucial fourth down and about 3 to go, maybe 4 for a touchdown. And let's see if they send in their field goal kicker, and it looks like they will. He's coming out on the field right now, and that will be number 14, Mike Campbell.
Those mistakes usually happen early in the season, and I think it's just a little bit maybe the anxiety of the first game and the nerves and wanting to get out of there really quickly, and the ball ends up on the ground. So the Wolverines with an opportunity to be first on the board.
Mike Campbell, the field goal kicker for Aliso Niguel, about a 20-yarder. 21 make it at the most. Pretty much a straight shot. The snap, the kick, it is up, and it is good. So the first score of the game comes by the way of a turnover. Aliso Niguel leads at 3-0. We'll be back with more right after this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Game of the Week. Oddly enough, Dana Hills takes the kickoff. 88 yards, they go for a touchdown as Julio Peraza takes off on it, and he scores. We do have it on instant replay. Let's check it out.
Okay, The touchdown is good.
Here we go.
Okay, let's watch the replay. There's Peraza at the 12-yard line, and watch this. A great job of wedge blocking. And like Elroy said last week, aloha means goodbye.
And no doubt about it, he's running all the way to Saw Creek. Julio Peraza goes 88 yards for the touchdown.
And I believe, Paul, that Julio is just a sophomore. 5'10", 188-pound sophomore. The penalty now, the clip happened after the touchdown, happened after the play was dead, so they penalized on the extra point. The ball will be placed to 25-yard line. It's going to be a 35-yard extra point, Paul.
Be a long extra point. Let's see if he can make it. Number 42 for the Dana Hills Dolphins, Mike Dieter. Mike Dieter. The snap is up, and the kick, it's going to be wide to the right and no good. So the Dolphins lead it 6-3. We'll be back with more here in the high school football game of the week. Welcome back to the game of the week. The score is 6-3. Dana Hills leads it. We've had 2 scores in less than 5 minutes of play here at Dana Hills High School.
They try the pooch kick, Paul, and it's in a perfect position on the field. Ooh, I'll tell you what, if that ball comes down and takes a little bit of a backspin, there's a real
Dolphins
great chance
football.
of recovering it. The ball's kicked out of bounds. They're going to put it in play.
Julio Peraza with a big touchdown, 88 yards for the Dolphins. And Bill, he did what every great runner does, straight up and down the field.
That's right, north and south, not much wasted effort in that. He's got great speed. Remember that name, Julio, just a sophomore. And I think that Dana Hills fans, we're going to be seeing this youngster for quite some time now.
We'll be selecting a Ballpark Pizza Team Athlete of the Week, or pardon me, Bill, Athletes of the Week. We get 2 of them out tonight, so that's great. We'll be doing that at the end of tonight's game.
Ball was kicked out of bounds, Paul. That means the ball goes into play on the 35-yard line. And now out in the open field, the Wolverines come out in a pro-style offense. 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and I-backs.
Purley with it. He's exploded so far. Every time he's touched the ball, he gets about 7 yards on that play. And I want to let you know that for the next home game at Aliso Niguel, I want to let you know they're having a tailgate party, and that will be starting September 15th at Aliso Niguel games. They'll be hosting a tailgate party starting at 5:30 p.m. before all home games. Come in and join the fun and get excited about Aliso Niguel football as well as Dana Hills football when they are here at Dana Hills High School. They lead at 6-3. Nemeth rolls out, first pass of the game for him. He gets the first down, and then he's uplifted just shy of the 50-yard line.
Tell you what, a great open field tackle that time by number 33, and that's Troy Ifuku. Troy did a nice job that time of really getting great position on Nemeth, and the ball is being spotted right now on the 47-yard line, the 48-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Paul, one thing that the Wolverines, I think, will take great advantage of this year in Robbie Schmitz's offense is the bootleg. And you can see that Nemeth comes outside here on the boot. He turns upfield, gets enough yards for a first down, but watch Troy Ifuku come up and make a great tackle here.
Perfect tackle for Ifuku. In trouble. Now, was that a pass or was that a fumble? Very critical how the official calls this, because he wasn't passing it to anybody very close, and he's going to call it a fumble, Bill.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a game of who can do the most with the other team's mistakes. I think early in the season, that's really what you have to do. Look at coming out the field right now, number 50, Scott Parkin. I'll tell you what, he's fired up, but I think Tom Schooler's defense right now is really doing a great job. You know, they did a good job down there on the goal line, limiting the Wolverines to a field goal, and they get a turnover here. The ball is being marked right now at about the 44.5-yard line. The Dolphins will come out with a 1st and 10 there. And Paul, so often early in the season, it's not what you do right that wins the game. It's the turnovers that you create that might lose the game. So, opportunistic defense by the Dolphins.
6-3, the Dolphins lead it at 6:32 in the first quarter. Kaufman hands off the ball and exploding for 4 yards.
Julio Perez again. He's going to be a force in the South Coast League.
Julio Pereza picks up 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6 with 6:15 to go in the quarter. And Trace Denicky, just a fantastic article about him today in the Orange County Register. They did a great job about talking about what he has been doing all summer long. And good shot of him of going into the coach's office at 5 o'clock in the morning, watching game films, looking for a hole, looking for something that he can take advantage of.
Dedicated football coach who really knows what he's doing.
10 years.
You'll see the results.
That's
You'll
right.
see it.
10 years in the Marine Corps. Kaufman's going to get hammered. Actually, he gets rid of the ball before he does. And a great run upfield, number 22 for the Dana Hills Dolphins, making things happen.
Julio Pereza again.
Julio Pereza.
Now, I'll tell you what, let's give some credit there to Aaron Kaufman, who did a great job reading the option and getting the pitch out there at the last second. That's the toughest thing about running the option. If you pitch the ball early, you give the defense an opportunity to run to that pitch man. But boy, if the quarterback can hang on that long, it makes things a little bit more difficult for those guys in the secondary trying to come up and make the play.
So it'll be first down and 10. The Dolphins are on the move. The ball's on the 28-yard line. They send out 2 wide outs to the right, a wide receiver on the near side, a fullback and a tailback in the backfield. They have a good offensive line. That's one of the key things Aaron Kaufman talked about in our football preview. He says the line is something else. Kaufman played quarterback last year with Aliso Niguel. He hands it off, and Aliso Niguel stacks up the running back. No gain, maybe a loss on the play.
It was. You got to give some credit inside there to number 66 on defense, and that's Dave Seal. Really the way this offense works best is if you can create a force from the fullback between the tackles. And if you can do that, and if that guy has the ability to attract both of those inside linebackers, now the option has a real chance to work. But I'm certain that the down linemen from Aliso Niguel right now want to make sure they stop the fullback, and we'll leave the quarterback and the pitch man to those perimeter guys.
So Aliso Niguel stacks up Trottier for a 2-yard loss. So it's second down and 12 with 4.5 minutes to go in the quarter. 6-3 Dolphins. Kaufman hands it off once again. Peraza, he outskips one defensive lineman, and he goes up for about a 3-yard gain, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be third down and long.
I'm very impressed so far with the play of both offensive lines, Paul. They're both getting off the ball, and I think a 3rd and 10 situation right now, you're going to see a part of the Dolphin offense that has to be effective for them to win this year.
Bobby Stout standing by on the sidelines. We'll go to her in just a moment, checking in with another report, telling us about the atmosphere and what's happening on the field.
Let's see if the Dolphins can move it through the air here.
Kaufman rolls out deep. He's being rushed. He's got to go up the middle. He scampers out the right side. He gets 5 of them. So it'll be 4th down. In between that and the decision to make a 4th down call, let's go down to Bobby Stout and hear what she has to say.
Is your mic on?
Well, Bobby's having a tough time with that mic. We'll get that checked and get right back with you.
The Dolphins call timeout, Paul, because this is kind of an either-or situation. It's 4th down and about, we'll call it 5 yards. And right now, I think this is where the head coach talks to the defensive coordinator and says, you know, should we go for this? Can you hold him?
That's right.
And Tommy Schooler used to play for us at Saddleback, and he's coordinating the defense, doing a great job. I'm sure if you ask Tom right now, he'd say, hey, coach, go for it, and we'll hold him. But this also tells your team a little bit. You know, if the coach said, hey, guys, I have confidence in you. We're down there on the ball sitting on the 25-yard line. Let's go for it.
That's right.
Let's see what happens.
So it is 6-3. Timeout on the field. There's been a field goal by Aliso Niguel, a touchdown by Dana Hills. On the point after attempt, there was a penalty on the touchdown. So on the point after attempt, they had to try a 35-yard field goal, and they missed that. So that's why it stands at 6-3. I'll tell you what, there's more cameras at this game than people selling hot dogs.
Tell you
There's
what, a nice
everywhere.
crowd. There's
That's
a great
right.
crowd here tonight. Both sides of the field.
You know what, Bobby got that mic worked out. Let's go down to Bobby Stout.
Well, Paul, going back a few minutes ago to the touchdown for the Dana Hills Dolphins, basically, Dana Hills is on a mission this year. Last year, when they ran up against Aliso Niguel, they kind of had the attitude that, well, Aliso Niguel's a new school, so they can't be that tough to beat. Basically, if we get off the bus, we'll beat them. Well, that did not happen that last year, and that was kind of the kicker in the rear for Dana Hills. Now they are on a mission, and I think by what you've seen so far in this game that they are pulling that off.
That's right, and they hope to pull off this 4th down call. Kaufman has it. He's going to be rushed heavily. He gets the ball away, and they get the first down.
I'll tell you what, Paul, you must give Aaron Kaufman credit on 2 counts. Number 1, he makes a great ball fake on the bootleg, and then when he gets outside, he avoids the defensive end who has contained responsibility, and he had 2 choices there. I think he throws for the first down, but he also could have kept the ball and run for the first down. So Trace Deneke there showing confidence in his team, going for the first down, and then the kids rewarding him by making the first down.
Nathan Blakely with the catch. So Nathan Blakely was smart enough to leave his position downfield, come back for that football, and he picks up the first down with Kaufman throwing the football.
You know what's exciting about that? That's the son of Coach Bernie Blakely.
That's right.
And I remember that guy when he was just a little bitty guy, and all of a sudden now he's a big high school player, and I'm sure Bernie's excited too.
Aliso Niguel looked like they might have jumped off sides. Unless they were drawn off, we'll find out.
Something that you need time to practice, Paul, during early parts of the season are motion plays. The snap count has to be coordinated with when that blocker turns upfield, and sometimes you can get a defense to jump offside by using what we call a non-rhythmical cadence. In this case, the Wolverines guilty of being offside, and the ball is now resting on, we'll call it the 8-yard line. And Aaron Kaufman asking for an equipment timeout. I think he's got something wrong with his helmet. Either that, Paul, or that microphone you put in his helmet's not working, so we can mic these guys.
Well, I want to mention Brian McSweeney is standing next to us running the clock, and Brian's got a Monte Carlo night and also a charity, actually not a charity, but a celebrity softball game. That softball game is on October 1st, and the Monte Carlo night is the night before. We'll tell you more about that as we go along.
I thought you were going to say he had a 68 Monte Carlo.
Yeah, there, hey, that'd be nice. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Man in motion. Dana Hills has the football. Kaufman is the quarterback. He hands it off down to the 5-yard line. Julio Peraza.
Some nice goal line defense by the Wolverines. Julio Peraza again, that time almost like a sprint draw. And Peraza has enough speed to take that outside. Here it is. It is kind of like a sprint draw that used to see Nebraska run from time to time. And, you know, Peraza, 188 pounds for sophomore. He's going to be a big guy before he's done.
Bill, I know you being an offensive coordinator for 14 years as Saddleback, now the head coach, I think you like what you see with Dana Hills because they are controlling the clock. You see it up there, 1:38 to go in the first quarter. They know on the other side of the field you've got a young man who is by the name of Scott Nemeth that can really control the offense.
Oh, Paul, that's a very good observation because if I'm going to play against the Wolverine offense, my number 1 concern is keep them off the field. And the offense that Trace Deneke's running right now, mixing a little option with some eye power plays and some bootlegs, is a really, really well-conceived ball control offense. We've got 1 minute and 38 seconds left in this first quarter, so you know, along with that kickoff return, they're doing a great job with this. Yeah,
credit
if you're Scott Nemeth, you're over there itching.
Yeah,
you know,
no kidding.
Get me back on the field.
Dying. Well, I want to let you know some Thursday night scores. Costa Mesa defeated Mayfair 14-6. Santa Ana Valley 42-17 winners over Mission Viejo. Villa Park 31-28 over Valencia. Ocean View shut out Catella 13-0. Pacifica defeated Woodbridge 17-0. Long Beach Jordan 32, Santa Ana 13, Westminster 20, La Quinta 6. Santiago 15 and Magnolia 12. Los Alamitos, the number 1 team in the nation going into 1995, 44-0 over Saugus, and Troy defeated Rancho Alamitos 21-19.
Dana Hills now coming out in trips formation to the left. Peraza the single remaining back.
2nd down and 4, and there might have been some movement at the line of scrimmage, or they might have taken too much time up there trying to get the playoff. And it looks as it's going to be against the Dana Hills Dolphins. So this will back them up, Bill, to 2nd and 9, goal to go.
That kind of offsets the penalty that was assessed against the Wolverines a moment ago. If you watch this formation, there's 3 guys to the left side of the left tackle in a trips formation, but one of them is number 45, John Trottier. He's the fullback. And when he comes back in motion, Paul, follow him and see if he doesn't lead you to the ball.
Standing room only here at Dana Hills High School, and you would not think it because they have not won a game in 17 tries. But tonight they're trying to stop that trend, and Dana Hills trying to start a new trend here at
Remember, this is going to be a backyard battle forever.
It's going to be a good one.
These guys all come from the same neighborhood.
I sure do. 1:38 to go in the first quarter. The Dolphins lead it by 3. Kaufman, he's going to pass out to the near side, and it's caught down inside the 10-yard line.
Now there's Trottier, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. And, you know, if you're Julio Peraza, you also, besides carrying the ball at the time, have to block every once in a while.
That's right.
And he did a terrific job that time after the ball fake from Aaron Kaufman. You'd say, hey, coach, you know, I'm going to get hit every time I carry the ball. Now I'm getting hit while I'm blocking, too.
Well, it was second down and 14. My mistake. I looked up, and it was second down and 14, not second down and 9.
See the Wolverine coaches up there in the lift.
Now it's third down, and they can get a first down. Check that. Third down and 7 to go for a first. Third down and 9 to go for a touchdown. Kaufman, there's going to be called for a penalty. If Peraza has the football, they'll call this one back. He gets down to the 1-yard line.
Trottier, the fullback, jumped a little bit before the snap, and I'll tell you, that's a heartbreaker for the Dolphins because a well-executed option play, and that would have been a first down on about the 1-yard line. So as we said before, sometimes it's those little mistakes. You work so hard in practice to keep those mistakes out of your offense and defense. Nice picture here of Aaron Kaufman on the option. Look at him settle, extend his arm on the pitch. Great technique, and here comes Peraza. And some nice blocking downfield by the Dolphins. That's terrific. Times Orange County edition replay. Certainly want to thank them because, man, does that make it nice. Okay, we've got the ball back now on the 9-yard line, excuse me, the 14-yard line. It's going to be third down all over again. And, okay, we're back in an offset I formation. Let's see if we get a little play action here.
Kaufman back to pass, third down and 12 to go for a first. Trottier swings it back inside, down to about the 8-yard line. Good field goal position for a fourth down call. So they get it back to where they needed to, but Bill, they didn't pick up the first down.
They must, Trace must like Trottier's hands because the fullback has been in the flat on 3 or 4 different occasions and taken the short sprint out pass from Aaron Kaufman. And that's going to be a weapon, too, because, you know, if linebackers have to defend that fullback in the flat, all of a sudden the curls and things like that become open behind him.
And that will be...
Good friend Brian's got his gun ready.
That's
Look
right.
out here.
Well, that's signaling the end of the first quarter, so we'll have more football right after this. It's 6-3. We'll be back. Welcome back at 6-3, and we are in the second quarter. While we were away, Dana Hills went for it on fourth down. They did not come up with the first, so Aliso Niguel takes over as we start the second quarter. Scott Nemeth at quarterback. He hands it off. The Dolphins on defense tries to stack him up before he gets to the 10-yard line.
Really nice interior defense that time by the Dolphins, and I think that in this position, if you're Robbie Schmitz and the Wolverine offense, you have to be a little cautious coming out from your own end zone. But I know Robbie, don't be surprised if you see something crazy coming out of here just to change the momentum.
Next week, it will be Irvine at Mission Viejo for our second telecast of the game of the week. Aliso Niguel with a second down and 8 to go for a first. Man in motion. Nemeth hands it off. Lots of room, a good tackle made. The ball carrier being number 10, and that's Trent Purley. He'll be running the ball all night long.
The power has been very effective for the Wolverines so far. Running off tackle with Trent Purley, and that time downfield too. Got a pretty good block for number 85, Andrew Mashburn.
Dolphins looking for their first win in, check this, Bill, 715 days. They're only 3 quarters shy of their first win in a long, long time. Trace Deneke is a man that's very, very organized. He's spent 10 years in the military, and he said he had a blast. Got a lot of organization skills off of that. There's a timeout on the field as Scott Nemeth decides to check in with his head coach Joe Wood and the offensive coordinator Robbie Schmitz. I want to remind you that tonight's game is being brought to you by American Savings Bank. If you want to know how much you can afford before you start shopping, call Mike Moore and Mitch Redden at American Savings Bank. They're experts in the South Orange County market, and they can pre-approve a loan so you know how much you can afford before you start shopping. Again, mention that you've heard it on the Game of the Week, you've heard this ad, and they'll give you $100 off your loan fees. Again, that's Mitch Redden and Mike Moore at American Savings Bank. Also, we'd like to welcome Scarantino's Italian Inn, Palace Park Family Entertainment Center, Minuteman Press, and Lake Forest Limousines back to our 1995 high school football season, along with Jin Japanese Restaurant, Peppino's Italian Food, the whole gamut of advertisers and people supporting local sports here on Channel 3. So Aliso Niguel looking for something to happen. They're down by 3. And one thing you can look at it, Bill, Aliso Niguel took advantage of the turnover they created. The Dana Hills Dolphins went for it on 4th down. They didn't come away with anything, but maybe their philosophy here might work to try to push them back in their own territory. It's going to be tough.
I like that as a coach. You're telling your guys, look, I have confidence in you. Let's go for it. See what happens.
So it's 1st down and 10. 11:03 to go in the first half, 6-3. Purley is taking the ball for a run here. He's across the 50, one man to beat. He gets knocked out of bounds. So it'll be 1st down and 10 to go inside the Dolphin territory. We go down to Bobby Stout.
Well, Paul, going back a few minutes ago when Dana Hills had the ball, down here on the sidelines, Coach Trace Deneke was telling his players when all those penalties were going on to tell the offensive line not to shift their feet. Going back to what you guys were talking about, sometimes in the early games there's little mistakes that happen, and obviously that was one that affected the Dana Hills Dolphins. Going over to the Aliso Niguel side, there was one player I wanted to talk about, and that is the quarterback, Scott Nemeth. He is a player, when I asked him to describe himself, he said he's a very enthusiastic leader. He's a screamer. If you see him on the sidelines, you'll notice that he'll be yelling to the other players, getting them revved up for the game. And one point that I wanted to make about Scott is that he's really close with his dad, Jack Nemeth, who I'm sure is in the stands tonight on the Aliso Niguel side. And Scott had to say about his dad, you know, sometimes if things aren't going the greatest, all I have to do is I look up in the stands, my dad touches his head, and I know exactly what he's thinking. He says he's saying, you know, just think about it, have fun, and relax, and it gets him back into the game. Back to you guys.
Well, Bobby, right now, Scott Nemeth is definitely in the game on the charge with the Wolverines. Jack Nemeth, the president of the football program at Aliso Niguel.
That's D'Angelo
Gossett, who normally plays in the backfield on defense, comes over, and I talked to him during the football preview, and I asked him about, you know, is he going to go both ways? He said, hey, I'd like to get on both sides of the football.
Well, I think in high school, one of the things that I learned early as a coach, my high school coach, Bob Schaup, who spent 25 years at Cal Lutheran College, I asked him when I started to coach, I said, you know, do you have any pearls of wisdom for me? He said, yeah. I said, if you've got great players standing next to you on the sideline, you're not very smart.
That's right.
So use them all. D'Angelo in there at tailback.
Well, he picked up a 1st down, so it's 1st down and 10. This is one major drive by the Wolverines. The pitch to Gossett. He's got plenty of speed. He cuts upfield. They take his jersey off his shoulder pad, but he still picks up 6 yards, 7 yards on the carry. So Gossett moving the ball up.
A chance there for John Morgan coming from his safety position to stop that play for little or no gain, and D'Angelo Gossett broke the tackle and got the ball all the way down to, they're marking it now to 23-yard line, Paul, and it's 2nd down and about a yard. This is one of those offensive coordinator plays. 2nd and a yard, you can kind of gamble a little bit. Tell you a guy that impressed me all summer in our camp and stuff was Andrew Mashburn, number 85, and may see him catch the ball soon here.
Gossett gets over the 20-yard line to the 19. Mashburn was wide out on the right side, and you're right, you know he's a weapon. And I have a sense that maybe Joe Wood is just taking his time with his game plan. Hey, we'll throw Purley at you. He's not as fast as Gossett, and when you think that Purley's the fastest guy out there, we're going to throw Gossett at you. And there's another one to look at. So he's mixing it up a little bit, and Robbie Schmitz said that they will mix it up. He is the offensive coordinator of the Wolverines. Joe Wood mainly stays on the defensive side. Lets Robbie do his thing. Man in motion for Aliso Niguel, 1st down and 10. Nemeth drops way back. He has Purley.
Middle screen.
And it's completed to number 1, Singleton.
I tell you, when you see a quarterback take a 14-yard drop, you know something's up, and they're trying to draw the defensive line as deep into the backfield as they can. So Scott Nemeth did a really fine job that time of pulling the defenders into the backfield to open up that middle screen for Singleton. Now,
Really
ball
sold
resting
the
on
play.
the 2nd-yard line. He did. Very good job.
He drops way back.
Look at
and they
that
had the
drop.
screen set up too, Bill, as you said.
There it is. This is becoming America's football play. Everybody runs it now.
Didn't the Washington Redskins make that kind of popular at first?
Oh, no. I'll tell you, I first saw it about 16 or 17 years ago. And I know we've been running it at Saddleback for at least 15 years. And I'll tell you, we kind of took it from Palomar College.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first place I saw it. And you know, we had one year where Scott Miller caught 7 of those middle screens for touchdowns. Now I think everybody in America runs it.
I want to let you know that the Kind Tickets, they're running special San Diego Charger packages. It's called the Party Bus, all the way to Jack Murphy Stadium. Starts at $99 to $150. Every game, the home games are the Chargers. They got off to a slow start against the Raiders, but they'll be back. The Chargers home games, the next one that you can contact the Kind Tickets about is the 24th of September against the Denver Broncos. Again, the packages start at $99. You can eat and drink on the way down there and have a good time, not worrying about parking or getting in and out of Jack Murphy, finding your way back home.
Paul, are you and I going to take the bus trip to the Rams home game?
Sure.
Takes 3 days. Leave on Wednesday.
You know what, Bill? There was a special happening in the last couple of weeks around Cox Cable. We want to let you know that our good friend Joe Marks, Joe and Janelle Marks, had their first baby, Mason,
look at that,
born on August 21st, weighing in at 9 pounds 15 ounces. That's your next middle linebacker.
God bless
or
Janelle.
lineman.
Yeah.
And also Tom and Lori Hall. Tom normally directs the game of the week. Congratulations to them. James Thomas. That was born September 3rd, weighing in at 7 pounds 3 ounces. Congratulations, Joe, standing right behind me running the camera, and Tom Hall at home watching this on TV, taking care of his wife and baby. And that's going to be a touchdown as Purley gets in for the score.
And I know Tom's baby was born with a wedge in his right hand, and he's ready to go.
2-yard touchdown by Purley, so they waste little time in going in off that drive.
Now remember where this drive started? It started back on the 6-yard line. So 94-yard touchdown drive, primarily on the running of Trent Purley and DeAngelo Gossett. So you've got to give the offensive line a lot of credit for opening up some good holes there. Mike Middlebrook and all of his guys up there. And they've battled back right now to make it 9-6. Waiting for the extra point.
Mike Campbell, the high snap, the boot, and it's good. We'll be back with more as now the Aliso Niguel Wolverines lead it. We'll be back right after this.
Multi-talented guy. That was Nemeth that kicked off.
Ifuku with the ball. He gets across the 20-yard line, so it'll be first down and 10 for Dana Hills as they trot back on field. And I want to thank all the officials tonight for working with us in our TV timeouts and also in our breaks. Gives the kids a little extra time to catch their breath. A little bit longer breaks than they normally have. And Trey Stenicky and Joe Wood, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for working with us on the high school football game of the week. And again, I want to thank all the coaches and the players that came down in the high school football preview. Great thrill to put that on. I know it was a long one for everybody,
Hey,
3 hours.
Wait a second. Thanks to you. Let me tell you what, I know how hard you worked on that thing and how long it took you to put it together, and you did a fabulous job. That was really professionally done.
Well, thank you very
much. A
much.
nice insight into all the teams in our area.
A lot of fun. Coaches and the players make it special. Kaufman, penalties all over the place. And on next week's edition of the Game of the Week during halftime, you're going to see the Saddleback College football preview, joined by Coach Bill Cunerney, Eric Patton, and Scott Patton. And you'll hear what they have to say. You'll see the Gauchos. We'll be covering their game on the 20th of September. Right, Bill? The 20th is
30th.
their game. The 30th, pardon me, 30th of September.
Yeah, we're on the road for a couple of weeks. This week, we're highly favored. We're playing bye.
And you won that game.
My favorite team.
But yeah, the 30th, and then we'll have that game on the night after. But you've sent out invitations to all the high schools,
Yes.
all the coaches, all the athletic directors. Come on
Correct.
over to Saddleback College on the 30th and play Palomar.
Palomar College.
It'll be a lot of fun. And again, next week on the Game of the Week, you'll be watching Irvine at Mission Viejo. Good crosstown rival. Both those teams used to rest in the South Coast League. Mission Viejo still does, but Irvine used to be in the South Coast League, and that was always a good matchup.
I know Terry is looking forward to this season. Terry Hennigan He had 3 CIF championships in a row, and last year didn't make the playoffs, and I think he's anxious to get it rolling again. And obviously Bill Denny and the guy over at Mission, Kerry Crabb and everybody, they're all anxious to rebound from this last week's game. And I think, Paul, this year the optimism in the Valley for every football team is at an all-time high. I'm not sure what it is. And I mentioned in the pregame thing, maybe it was the baseball strike and the labor dispute in basketball, whatever. Last time I checked, in high school football and college football, they didn't have any labor dispputes. You know, hey, look, we offered Deion Sanders a T-shirt and a, you know, a 20-minute interview on Athletes in Motion, and yeah, he turned it down. Yeah, I think he's going to Dallas. And,
well, other games of interest tonight for you folks to check out your newspaper over the weekend for score is Servite and Monterey, El Toro and San Clemente. I'm sure that's a great game down south. Tustin and Foothill, Santa Margarita and Tribuco Hills, and Esperanza and Indio. So some good games out there. And we are underway. Last week we really kicked it off in style. A little Hawaiian flavor to the game of the week with San Clemente and Punahou. And I tell you what, I want to take this time to thank my good friend, who is now my good friend and your very good friend, Elroy Chong in Oahu. He did an absolutely fantastic job on the game of the week. I want to thank him for helping us out. Kaufman gets in trouble. He throws the ball and be incomplete, but heavy rush by number 63 for Aliso Niguel.
Todd Schaefer with a great pass rush, Paul. Ooh, I'll tell you, that wrecks every screen when you get that much pressure. I know that as I was watching the game of the week, I told you this, when it came on Tuesday night, I called Elroy over in Hawaii, and he had not gotten home from, of course, he's a physical therapist and also a high school football coach. He helps at Farrington High School. And when he finally got home, he called me back, and I said, hey, we're watching you on TV. You did a great job. And he really enjoyed that.
He was great. I want to thank him once again for taking us to two of the finest restaurants on Oahu. 3660 on the Rise. You have to remember that one. And also Sam Choi's. A big run up the middle.
On the trap.
Boy, look at that. First down. So Dana Hills gets close to the 40-yard line. And Bill, I think what they're doing, and I like what Aaron Kaufman does. He went to the line of scrimmage a play or so ago, did not like what he saw, and he said, you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to call a timeout. It's only the second quarter. And, you know, he really got together with Trey Stenicky before he went out and jumped the gun.
Well, kind of neat. Aaron was in our camp for a couple years, and I know how hard he's worked to become a good quarterback. I know he works with Bob Johnson on weekends to perfect his skills. When he came over here to Dana Hills, he has an opportunity to run this team against all of his old buddies from Aliso Niguel, and I think they're probably happy for his chance at success. And of course, Aliso with an established quarterback and Scott Nemeth, both these youngsters are really going to have good seasons.
Julio Peraza, the lone running back in the backfield, wears number 22, and guess what? He's only a sophomore. He gets caught up there. I think they knew that was coming, but look, he still fights and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And you know what? 50,
powerful guy.
Bill, 50 parents and players got together over the weekend, last weekend, and they painted the stands here at Dana Hills High School. And you can't tell because this place is filled to capacity. Well, I want to thank all those people for coming out, especially the parents, and taking their time and working on the stands. They fixed the drinking fountain. There was a golf ball stuck in there, so that wasn't working.
That.
So, you know, but hey, congratulations. Hats off to you guys here at Dana Hills High School.
Well, Paul, it's always going to be that way, that the pride you take in your program will show not just in how your team plays, but in the stadium, how you keep your school up and stuff. And hey, this only happens once in your life, a very short period of time to be in this situation to play high school football or support high school football. So certainly our hats off to them for the great job they did.
Well, Peraza gets thrown for a loss on that play, and Aliso Niguel, the front five, the front four, are doing a heck of a job right now.
You know, we're going to call this guy's name quite often this year, I'm sure. Todd Schaefer, number 63, again with a terrific play on defense.
Phil, you mentioned that at the end of tonight's game. Ballpark Pizza Team selecting two athletes to go to Ballpark Pizza Team as the Athletes of the Week, and that's a special gift certificate that we give. Very nice letter, orchestrated by Bobby Stout. She works hard on that. And also the people at Ballpark Pizza Team, variety of locations throughout Mission Viejo, Santa Margarita, Aliso Niguel, Laguna Niguel. I want to thank Ballpark Pizza Team again. Two wide receivers on the near side. Chartier goes in motion. Kaufman going to that side. He's going to pitch to Peraza. Peraza has one man to beat. Watch out, Peraza's down inside the 40-yard line.
You know, there's something about the way he runs that I really like. I'm sure Trace loves it, and that is if he's got a chance in the open field, or a choice rather, between trying to juke somebody or run him over, he runs them over. He's a north and south guy. Now watch this. A good job on the option by Kaufman. Lead blocker downfield. You can see that little changeup move there. Gets him into the seam. And right now, I think I'll just see if I can't go straight up the field.
Bill, they have him listed at 5'10", 188 pounds. That's a big boy for
Well, it's
only
that
a
other
sophomore.
number. That other number, yes, just a 10th grader.
Yeah.
Wow.
5:30 to go in the half. Wouldn't Dana Hills love to get on the board? They passed up a field goal attempt for a 4th down call, which they missed. They gave the ball back to Aliso Niguel, and they went 94 yards for a touchdown. Penalty as they took too much time at the line of scrimmage. They'll back Kaufman up.
Those are other things that obviously will smooth themselves out as the season goes on. You get into a rhythm with your quarterback in terms of calling plays. And early in the season, sometimes you're a little indecisive as to what you want to call or how quickly you can get it in the game. And sometimes those things kind of evaporate after the 2nd or 3rd week.
Well, there's 5:20 to go in this half. After this play, we will step aside very quickly for a TV timeout, take care of some business, and we will be back. If we miss anything, we'll have it for you on instant replay. First down and 15 to go. Kaufman hands it off to Trottier. With that, we'll be back with more football here at Dana Hills. Welcome back to the game of the week. 2nd down, and they thread the needle. One of the first few passes that Kaufman has thrown.
You got to give some credit. Ryan Klink right there, or excuse me, I'm sorry, on defense for Aliso Niguel, number 12, John Hefty. John's a guy who I know has spent hours in the weight room and conditioning with a running coach and stuff. And, you know, I think probably in the Hefty household, you better tie the furniture down, because I think John's one of those guys that might forearm the couch or something just to get ready for the game.
Well,
he's going to be a fine player.
After this play, we'll check in on the field once again. 4:33 to go in the first half. 10-6, Aliso Niguel. Standing room only on both sides of the field in the stands. We welcome you to the 1995 high school football season here on Channel 3. Kaufman's going to roll deep. Rushed. Trying to get out of it. Rushed again. He's going to be nailed. Number 66 with a big hit from Aliso Niguel comes up with the play. And that is Dave Seal. With that, we'll go down to Bobby Stout as she checks in, as that will be 4th down.
Well, Paul, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Aaron Kaufman, the quarterback for Dana Hills, as I heard you guys talking about him a few minutes ago. I know you probably mentioned it. He's a transfer from Aliso Niguel and used to work under Scott Nemeth over at Aliso Niguel. Now he has the starting position of quarterback for Dana Hills. And when I asked Aaron about this, what he thought about tonight's game, he said, you know, I just can't wait to get my shot again at Scott Nemeth. He says it's going to be really great to play against him again. Also, he wanted to say thanks to the Aliso Niguel coaches, because he really feels that when he was at Aliso Niguel, that they were the ones that taught him how to be quarterback, that they were the ones that instilled in him how to be the varsity caliber of a quarterback. Basically, though, his goal, though, tonight is that he hopes the Dana Hills team can beat the Aliso Niguel Wolverines. Not just him personally, but the whole team working together.
Well, they're 4 points shy of tying the game. And, of course, you get 2 safeties you can tie it. But you know what? A good point by Bobby is that Aaron Kaufman in the football preview also said he wanted to thank the coaches. He said that's the main reason why he is here at Dana Hills. He knew that he would not be the starting quarterback. Well, he came to justice with that and said, you know what? I'm in the boundaries of Dana Hills. I'm going to go play at Dana Hills. Scott Nemeth with the pass incomplete. But again, Aaron, you've worked very hard. I know he can squat 400 pounds. So he stands about 5'10", and strong young man. And give him a lot of credit, Bill, for thanking the other team.
Oh, that's the kind of young man he is. So, known Aaron for a few years, and I get a kick out of his enthusiasm and stuff. This is a situation I think that probably both staffs were happy. You know, they were happy for him to get a chance here, and I'm sure Trace was happy to have a quarterback of his caliber. It's kind of neat too, when you know your buddy's a quarterback on the other team, and you guys get a chance to compete. This doesn't happen very often, but the high school years are exciting. Here we go with Trent Purley again. I think we're going to get a hold. The umpire, Matt Encinas, threw a yellow dart back there.
He sure did.
And looks like we're going to get a holding call on Aliso Niguel.
You know, while we're talking about other schools and, you know, people here at Dana Hills High School and also Aliso Niguel, I want to thank the San Clemente Tritons for having me go out and cover that game. I know Coach Mark McElroy worked very, very diligently on that to get me over there and to get Bobby and I over there to cover it. And you told us about Elroy Chong, and the people at Oahu did a great job with the Jumbotron doing the game with us. Many thanks goes out to Mark McElroy and his staff and their booster club, because they had to raise a whole heck of a lot of money to go over there.
Ooh, you bet.
And I know they had a good time. They played a very good team with Punahou. Don't let anybody fool you about that.
The caliber of play in Hawaii is outstanding. We have 5 youngsters on our team this year at Saddleback from St. Louis High School, 9-time Hawaii state champions.
Yeah, they beat Hart by 5, 38-33.
We're happy to have those guys and maybe get a chance to see them during the year.
That's right. 10-6, 3:09 to go in the first half. Purley, ooh, what a big hit by the Dolphins.
Number 33 stepped up that time, and that's Troy Ufuku. We've talked about him on offense and defense. Troy stepped up and made a great hit on that draw play. It's going to be second, we'll call it 3rd down again, and about, oh gosh, we'll call it 9 yards, Paul. So, or excuse me, 19 yards to go after the penalty.
Well, Bill,
what do you call on 3rd and 19?
You just hope you don't get it picked off. That's for sure.
That's right.
2:40 to go in the first half. And tonight is the first night in 2 weeks that it is actually cool down here in Dana Point, because last night we did have a lot of heat and humidity in the air. Tonight, though, there's a breeze going, and that kind of lifts that humidity a little bit. They go for the run. Watch out. Heads up play. They will not get the first down. If all goes well for Dana Hills, they'll have some time left on the clock for a late drive here in the second half. Coach Trace Deneke marching up and down the field. He's antsy to get on with that football.
I think he'd like to play. His enthusiasm obviously rubs off on these young men. Tommy Schooler, the defensive coordinator. I think that enthusiastic coaches really do make for enthusiastic players, and I think both of these staffs, I know how hard Joe and his staff have worked. There's a good close-up of Trace.
Trace Deneke with 1:45 to go. The clock is moving here in the first half. 10-6, Aliso Niguel at halftime. Bill and I will go down the field, be joined by Bobby Stout, have a quick halftime report for you, and then we'll get back with this game here in the third quarter. 1:30 to go. The punt, it's a nice punt. And the ball takes a drop, and it takes a Aliso Niguel bounce. Back there deep for the Dolphins was John Morgan, quarterback and strong safety at 6'2", 182 pounds. He's a senior. So, Bill, the Dolphins have 120 to work with. They're down by 4. Realistically, you would love to get a touchdown, but a field goal wouldn't be too bad.
I'd take anything right now, and I tell you what, in terms of the momentum of this game, you mentioned before, Aliso Niguel, very patient with their offense. They drove 96 yards for a score to make it 10-6. And I think if you look at probably statistically, it might be close on the ground. Both teams right now not really too effective in the air, but you've got Trent Purley running like crazy for Aliso Niguel. And I'll tell you what, this youngster is impressing me, number 22, Julio Perez, just a sophomore, and he's doing a great job on the ground for Dana Hills. 1 minute and 18 seconds, what can you do in that time? Oh gosh, you can score a touchdown for sure.
That's right. We'll have to see what they do. Again, Bill and I will be selecting the Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week at the end of tonight's game. They will be saluted and awarded 2 gift certificates to go to Ballpark Pizza Team and have lunch or dinner on them. So they load them up on the near side of the field with wide receivers, stack them up tight. Peraza, Kaufman working together. He gets rid of the ball. There's a fumble, and Aliso Niguel has the football. The exchange between Kaufman and Peraza, when it hit his shoulder pad in the front, it popped out. Aliso Niguel was right there.
I know what Trace is telling Aaron right there. As he came around the corner, the guard had pulled on that freeze option, and I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. A chance perhaps for the quarterback to keep that ball and move right up the field behind the guard. This is a very sophisticated offense they're running, this freeze option, by pulling guards and tackles and stuff. And sometimes it just takes game situations to really get your timing down tight. But I think they're going to have fun with this offense.
Big blow here for Nemeth and the Wolverines. Everybody's going downfield, and that ball is incomplete, intended for Singleton, number 1. The wide receiver at 5'10", 145 pounds. He lists as a junior. So with 43 seconds, it'll be second down and 10. Wolverines lead it by 4. Great crowd on hand.
Oh, this is terrific.
I love it. I love it when we have this many people. This is what, when I started the football preview back in June, I told Coach Crow, he was one of the first coaches, I said, you know what, I really want to establish that kind of atmosphere that we had in the 80s, the mid-80s, and I think, hey, now we're starting to do it.
Sure we are. How about those games back there?
Oh, great games.
The late 80s and early 90s were just unbelievable.
Nemeth decides to carry it. He gets a first down, and Morey stays in the field, so the clock will not stop.
There he is. He went out of bounds. I think
they did stop it.
I think Joe Wood probably broke a blood vessel over there trying to get him to run out of bounds. I think Scott is the kind of an athlete that would like to make that into a touchdown run, but when you've got 30 seconds left on the clock and you're kind of cornered down there, why take the ball out of bounds and stop the clock and give yourself perhaps as many as 4 or 5 more plays if you use the clock correctly.
Well, you're looking at the 29-yard line, first down and 10 with 32 seconds left to go. Mashburn has not caught the football to my recollection yet, and he is wide out on the right. Purley in the backfield, Scott Nemeth the quarterback. Nemeth is a tall quarterback, well over 6 foot. He drops back, plants, and it's almost picked off by the Dolphins. A great play.
Number 35 on defense that time, and that's Brett Haney. Brett Haney almost had himself about a 70-yard touchdown return.
So 26 seconds left. That stops the clock. Coming on the field for Dana Hills is number 11, Anstead, Stephen Anstead. Plays cornerback, 6'3", 178 pounds, and he's a junior. Coming off the field is number 33, Troy Ifuku. So Bill brings up second down and 10. Do you throw?
Oh, I would. You don't have time right now, perhaps, to run a draw, so it's going to be a bootleg.
Nemeth, he tries to get it in, but he threw behind his wide receiver, and good pressure by the Dana Hills defense in the front.
You know, with 19 seconds left and it's third down, I think you might want to try the middle screen again. It's you can run it out of so many different formations. I think it's a play that if the quarterback is careful, if it's covered, you can throw it away. But that's a play where, you know, the defensive line, they're trying to get to the quarterback. So they're pressuring the field, and the linebackers are trying to get to their drops. Not a bad time for a play like that.
Third down and 10, trips to the near side of the field. Nemeth looking to go this way. He's gone to the right a couple times. Did not come up with anything. He's going to take off. He's got to get out of bounds. He stays in bounds, then he gets knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So with 10 seconds left to go, does he get the first?
And all of our camera people before the game were saying, it doesn't matter if the cameraman gets run over, save the camera.
That's right.
Now watch this. It's going to come right at you on the Times Orange County Edition instant replay. You can see where our camera is located. Here comes Scott. He turns up the field and dips out of bounds. Gets about 3 more yards, and then hello, cameraman.
A good block out there by Nick Singleton, number 1 for Aliso Niguel. 10 seconds to go. First down and 10. The ball inside the 20. Mark at the 19.5.
Another good time for the middle screen.
Trips to the right. Nemeth loads up. He's coming to near side. Out of bounds they go to 85 Mashburn. So with 5 seconds to go, do you kick a field goal, Bill, or do you go for a touchdown?
Well, I guess it depends a little bit on how strong your kicker is. The ball is resting right now on the 14-yard line, so the kick would be about a 35 or 40 yarder, so they're going to give it a rip.
Mike Campbell trots onto the field. He'll attempt the field goal to make it 13-6.
That'd be a 31-yard attempt,
yeah.
Paul.
And he was wide to the left last time on the other end. 5 seconds to go in the first half. 10-6, Aliso Niguel. We've seen a good first half. A few penalties here and there and a couple turnovers. Ordinary happenings in the first game of the season. The snap, it's a clean one. The kick, and it is dead on.
He made it.
And that's the end of the first half. So they lead it 13-6. We'll be back with our halftime right after this. Back to Dana Hills High School at halftime. The score is 13-6. A big play for the Dana Hills Dolphins, though, is Julio Peraza. Goes 88 yards on a kickoff return to score. The Dolphins led it at that time 6-3. Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Higgins along with Bill Cunardine, and welcome back to halftime on the Game of the Week. Aliso Niguel up by a touchdown. What do you think Dana Hills will come out doing? I know they're going to come out. They're going to see the Aliso Niguel Wolverines on offense first.
Well, I know Trace Deneke, right before the end of the half, tried some things with his option where he was pulling a guard or a tackle to lead either Peraza or Aaron Kaufman, the fullback. I think they'll come back to that. I think to make the option effective, though, Trottier has to get yards between the tackles. And then somewhere in there, they've got to run the bootleg or sprint out and be able to throw the ball effectively. If you're Aliso Niguel, I think the first thing you take away is Peraza. Boy, I tell you, he's going to be something. Offensively, for the Wolverines, Namath getting outside on sprint outs, got to be very effective. And then I think for all intents and purposes, the first half, Trent Purley's running was their offense. And you've got to give credit to both offensive lines, because I think when they've had the ball, both teams have controlled the line of scrimmage to a large extent. They're doing a good job.
And when you take a look at the first half, you have to remember this is the first game. So we have been seeing our share of turnovers. We've seen our share of penalties. Do you think that will stop here in the second half?
Well, I would expect it would. I think that all summer long, you wonder about the first game. You think about, gee, all the stuff we worked on, is it going to work? Who's going to get the first touchdown and stuff? Well, first half jitters are over. Now it's time to win the game. So I think in the second half, I don't think we'll see those offsides. I don't think we'll see the teams that have movement at the line of scrimmage. I think in the second half, the coaching adjustments are the things that I'm anxious to see. Who takes advantage of the other team's offense or defense, and that's what happens right now inside the locker room.
Well, it's a festive halftime, and Bobby Stout has been along the sidelines the entire first half. She joins us now. Bobby, we talked about Trace Deneke on the Game of the Week up there in the booth, and we've seen shots of him. Joe Wood, what's his thoughts? Is he sticking to his game plan?
Well, I would say Joe is definitely sticking to his game plan. You've been seeing it mixed up a lot on the field. Basically, he told me the other day in practice, you know, if we can just continue getting the first down, if we can get into the red zone, the 20-yard line to the goal line, and then make a score from there, then you know that our offense is working, and I think that was his whole intention.
A little bit of frustration with Trace Deneke that we saw on the field. Was the players feeling frustrated as well as you were watching them?
Well, I don't think the players were as frustrated. They are really pumped and still going. I think the Trace Deneke, though, was trying to mix it up a little bit, and it confused his players. At one time, he said, hey, let's flip this play, and he was yelling it to them as they were going out on the field, and they ended up having to call a timeout because the players couldn't get into position quick enough.
Well, emotions are high, 13-6 at halftime. Aliso Niguel leads it by a touchdown. When we come back, we should expect a very, very good second half. We'll be back with more of the high school football game of the week right here on Channel 3 right after this. Welcome back. Second half getting ready to start here. Dana Hills kicking off to Aliso Niguel. They lead it. The Wolverines do 13-6, and they'll touch the ball first.
Tremendous crowd here tonight, Paul.
Very
Looking
nice.
at this from the ground up, I'll tell you.
Short kick.
A lot of folks.
Got underneath that ball, and it gets down to the 28-yard line. If that ball was not picked up and the Dolphins fall on it, it would have been theirs.
Yes, I think that's a good strategy. If you don't have a guy that can kick it all the way to the end zone, and again, sometimes that's not good, as you saw with Julio Peraza. They run it back on you. Then you spot kick. You try and kick it to a particular point on the field and have your guys get down under it, because those people in the front for Aliso Niguel, they have 5 guys up front. Then they have 2 linemen immediately behind that line. And again, those are guys who don't normally handle the ball, so that's kind of where you aim your spot kick.
Scott Namath checks in at quarterback once again. We'll show you the starting lineups on the offense and the defense after this play. Namath first down at 10 to start the third. He hands it off. Oh, look at this hit.
Trottier on the blitz, Paul. You could see that coming. The nose guard went strong, and Trottier, and I tell you what, that's a Tommy Schooler blitz, because he used to do that when he played for us at Saddleback. Trottier untouched.
The quarterback for Aliso Niguel is Scott Namath. Purley has been in there at the lone setback position, and also Wyatt Hayden occasionally gets in there too. That's the backfield. Let's take a look at more. The linemen doing a good job tonight. And also the wideouts. Mashburn, who touched that ball. Singleton, who made a nice block in that first half to free Namath for a few more yards before he got out of bounds and getting ready to score touchdown.
Reverse.
Second half. And this was read, very nicely read, but they miss him in the backfield. Mashburn with the football, spinning off everybody. We've got to check this out on our Times edition of the Orange County Instant Replay.
Let me tell you, when you talk about making something out of nothing, I thought Trottier had a chance that time to cause a natural disaster. I mean, he smelled it out. Scott Namath back there with the ball, and Trottier comes free again. And watch this. Now, here comes the reverse, and wham, there's Trottier. And I mean, to Andrew Mashburn's credit, I'm not sure how he survived that, but Andrew did a heck of a job of getting something out of a sure loss.
Nathan Blakely on the second contact makes it 3rd down and 1 to go.
Looking at those first 2 plays, I think Tommy Schooler might be saying on defense, guys, let's go get them. Let's load it up and come after them a little bit.
Start of the 3rd quarter. Niguel, they lead it. 1st down and more for Purley. So they get out to the 47-yard line, 46-yard line. Again, I want to thank the officials tonight. Also want to remind you, Bill and I will be selecting the Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week. Numerous locations. Check it out in your area. Santa Margarita, Mission Viejo, Laguna Niguel.
We had this crew of officials last year for the Capistrano Valley Trabuco Hills game, and we've got the Dolphin defensive linemen, Mike Hulse, Corey Crouch, and Scott Parkin. Linebackers Blakely, Ifuku, Trottier, and Mitchell. In the secondary, Peluso, Morgan, Haney, and Weber. Trent Purley again.
Purley with a lot of open room. He has one man to beat, and that young man pulls him down from behind. In on the tackle is Chris Weber from Dana Hills High School, the free safety. Floating back there, saw a big Purley come through. So Purley is starting the game starting the second half exactly where he started the 1st quarter.
You know, watching this team, now I know they have some skilled wideouts and Scott Namath, the ability to throw the football, but I believe Aliso Niguel has got the ability with this front and this tailback to pound it at people and control the clock.
Neiman back to pass.
Streak is wide open.
Mashburn, he dives forward and he comes up short. Ball was overthrown. This will bring up a 2nd down.
You know, I know Andrew's speed, and watching his head that time, I'm not sure he picked up that ball until the last second, because he ran an inside streak route, beat the corner, got on top of the safety, and I don't think he picked up that ball until it was too late, because with his speed and really where that ball was thrown by Scott Namath, that probably should have been a touchdown.
9:22 to go in the 3rd. 13-6. Aliso Niguel. They led it to begin with. Dana Hills came back, scored a touchdown, and to end the first half.
Screen.
Purley has the ball. He stays in bounds. He barrels over one defensive back over the 30-yard line around the 29. But it looks like there is a flag on the play. Is there, Bill?
Yep, thrown by the umpire, Matt Encinas. It's going to bring the play back. And here comes the referee, and I think we're probably going to have a hold. There it is. Now you can see Namath on the replay does a good job of drawing the defense, hits the screen, and then if you look right there, you just saw it out the left side of the picture. You saw one of the offensive linemen kind of have a little bit of a bear hug on that guy, and this ball now will be moved back to we'll call it the 47-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and a couple of zip codes. We'll say it's about 18 yards.
Good crowd on hand here at Dana Hills High School to open up the 1995 season. Dolphins looking for their first win in 17 attempts, make it 18 attempts with tonight. This is a new year. Trace Deneke looking for something there. There's another hold, but they let it go. Namath will run the ball, and he gets across the 40. Was that a hold, Bill, or what was going on there? It was close.
Kind of looked like it to me, but again, those guys are down there up close and personal, and this is a terrific officiating crew. That's a skill that Namath possesses that I think is going to put them in good stead for 2 more years, and that is his ability to move. Look at this. You can see with that stride he's got, he covers a lot of territory, and he's a big, strong guy. Scotty now looks like he weighs about 200, 210 pounds, and not a guy you want to have to tackle on every down.
Well, it's 3rd down and 10 right now. Wideout number 41 goes to the left side. Corey Chandler trips to the left side. Mashburn on the near side. They're looking for Mashburn. And Namath decides to run it. There's going to be a flag on the play, and I think it's going to be against Dana Hills.
I thought maybe they called holding against Andrew Mashburn. He's pointing back to the spot of the foul, and I think when Andrew saw that Namath was going to run, and we can see it on our replay here. Actually, I think they might have called it a clip. Let's see. Here comes Scott as he turns the corner. Watch the bottom of your screen, and you see right there Andrew Mashburn, and he's kind of blocking the back of John Morgan.
In response to that, did you see Mashburn's shirt? It was untucked out of his shoulder pad. I think that happened when the defensive back was kind of holding him before the play really developed. So Nemeth looks at what will be a 3rd down and very, very long right now. They have it listed. Make it, what, 20 again?
At least.
22.
Yeah, 3rd and 22. 3rd and 22.
We talked about penalties. We talked about turnovers. It's going to happen in the first game. Maybe the first couple games of the year. Working at your offense, working at your defense. Some guys will jump off sides.
You know, I talked to Terry, the referee, at halftime, and he said, hey, you know, we're rusty too. We're trying to get back into the flow of things. And it's nice when you know, this officiating crew does a great job. And you know, they're saying, hey, look, we need to get our game legs back too, and we need to see stuff and kind of get back into the flow of football. And I think that's part of the early season stuff. This is going to be illegal procedure against the Wolverines. And Paul, we now have a 3rd and 27. Now, I'm opening my playbook here, and on 3rd and 27, I have a blank page.
Don't have anything for that one. Let's see what they come out and try to do. Mashburn is a key guy to look for. Let's see who they line up in the backfield. You got number 44 who's in there, Darren Luke. And Purley is in there. 3rd down, 27.
Yeah, you don't have to get 27 yards. If you get across midfield, you might want to go for it again. Here comes a little counter.
A draw. Actually, yeah, counter. Purley gets a lot of it back, and he gets down to the 44-yard line.
Nice job of running. Now, philosophy there, 3rd down and 27 yards. They gained about 13 yards on that play, and you'd say, well, gosh, you know, you're still miles from the 1st down. But look at it this way. You're now going to punt the ball from just over midfield, and you've really got a chance to pin the other team back in their territory.
7:22 to go in the 3rd. 13-6, Aliso Niguel. Last time they met, it was Aliso Niguel who walked away with the victory to start the 1994 season. Back deep is number 17 for Dana Hills High School, John Morgan. Low snap, the kick, it's a good one. Morgan has to run to his right, and he lets that ball go all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Okay, we just talked about how to pin your opponent down into their own territory. Terrific kick. The ball is now on the 1.
Single, no, was that single? No, it was number 11 for Aliso Niguel. Great play by Tarasiewicz.
We're testing your eyeballs up here. It's very dark, and so it's kind of tough to see.
Tarasiewicz with the big play.
And we had the correct pronunciation from that from Coach Schmitz before the game. So we want to make certain that we get all these guys' names right, because, you know, that's very important. I know Higgins doesn't get worked over much, but mine, oh gosh. I don't even want to tell you some of the ways it's been pronounced.
6:53 to go. The Dolphins have 99
now,
for a touchdown.
Look at this. They come out in a spread formation on their own 1-yard line. Going to run trap. Oh, I'll tell you what. Nice job of blowing the defense off the ball by that offensive front. A couple of guys up there that stand out. Number 70, Grant Howard, and number 74 with a nice block that time, and that's Mark Brown. Mark's only 6'5" and about 255 pounds, and Mr. Howard goes at about 265. So, you know, Paul, coming up here at halftime, I saw a gentleman who's got quite an interest in this game, and that's Aaron Kaufman's dad. And he said, you know, tonight he saw the coaches from Aliso Niguel, and he said Aaron thanked him. He thanked him. It's a really friendly atmosphere. They're all happy that all these kids are getting a chance to play. But he said, be sure and don't forget to tell about all the parents that came here this weekend and painted these stands.
That's right. There's a flag on the play. Just moments ago, you saw a good shot of Trottier on the sidelines. Normally, he's going both ways, but might be suffering from some cramps out there or a minor injury below his belt. And he is being looked at by Dave Valentine.
Dave's got on some stylish shoes.
Boy, you can't miss those shoes.
I don't know, Brian, can he jump any higher with those shoes on? But Mr. Valentine's got on they look like those things that I see Sean Kemp wear, right?
I thought he was a ref, then just, you know, decided to wear the
you put those on
uniform on his shoes.
Your vertical leap improves by 3 inches just putting those things on.
Well, it's 3rd down and 3. Penalty is declined. Coming back on the field for Dana Hills is number 4, Chris Weber. The Dolphins need something to have happen here. Number 85 comes on the field, and that's Mike Holtz. Pardon me, check that. Blakely, Nathan Blakely. So Dolphins looking for something to get them a first down.
You know, this is a critical play. You've got 3rd and about 3 on your own 9-yard line. And boy, a first down here would do wonders, not only for your confidence offensively, but to keep the Wolverines from getting great field position again.
Peraza heads up field.
That's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. He fought for every foot.
D'Angelo Gossett with a nice tackle, and they're marking the ball just across the 10-yard line. So I think it's going to be 4th, and we'll call it a half a yard, and you've got a punt here.
That's right.
John Morgan, the punter for Dana Hills, and he's hit a couple of bombs here. He's got a real strong leg, and I'll tell you now, if you are Aliso Niguel, you've got some choices. Do you want to try and pressure the punter and see if you can block it, maybe recover it for a touchdown, or your return guy's on the 40-yard line, you want to set up a return? It looks like they're going to try and set up a return by the way they're aligned. That's right, minimal rush.
Good kick, gets by the kick returner, number 12, John Hefty, and so a good kick.
Paul,
boy, that goes almost 50 yards. Bill counted 49 yards.
Great job by John Morgan. But if David Podol were in the stands tonight, what would he be saying, Paul?
Pick up that ball.
Oh, man, he knows I'd be right on his fanny saying, we don't want that thing to bounce. Go get it and see if you can run it back. But actually, nice bit of punting by John Morgan, and the ball resting just inside the 50. Call it the 47-yard line of Dana Hills. And Scott Nemeth brings up his team again. I formation. So see if they continue that power running game.
Scott Nemeth and the Aliso Niguel Wolverines. It's going to be 5. I was going to say they were inside Dana Hills territory, but now they're going to be backed up 5. And it'll be first down and 15. We'll go down on the field with Bobby Stoutis. He checks in for the first time in the second half.
Thanks, Paul. I wanted to let you know when I spoke to Joe Wood the other day that he admitted to having a few trick plays or gadget plays, as he called them, although he didn't really want to say that because he said, well, they're plays in the book, so they're really not trick plays. But he does have some things pulled up his sleeve that he may pull out at a time like this. Basically, he would use those when he wants to create momentum for his team, if he wants to confuse the defense, or, you know, maybe he wants to surprise him on a first down. Basically anything that will change the tempo of the game in the favor of Aliso Niguel.
Well, you know, they're going to try to pull out anything they can right here, Bill. And I know that Joe Wood, normally a defensive guy, he gets in there with Robbie Schmitz, and they talk about offense. They do have some hitch and pitches and some stuff like that.
You got to have that as part of your offense. I think that stuff, we started to put a few of those things in our plan this week, and I know that the players enjoy that stuff. Yeah,
I like that. I like to see it.
First thing I wanted to put in was make a first down.
Yeah,
that's a new trick play.
Second down, 15, as they back them up 5, and then they miss that pass completion. Nice diving attempt. Nemeth fakes the handoff. Good blocking up front. Pass goes behind the intended receiver, number 32, Wyatt Hayden. Hayden's listed as a running back and a linebacker at 6'2", 192 pounds, and a junior. One thing when you look at these two teams, especially, I could say especially Dana Hills, they have a lot of young players. And, well, you know what? Both sides of the ball, they have a lot of young players. Aliso Niguel being a new school. The thing about Dana Hills, Bill, over 600 new freshmen here at Dana Hills High School.
Yeah, that's a big class.
That's a big class.
I know they got off to a great start. I think they scored about 48 points on Thursday in their freshman game.
They shut out Aliso Niguel and the freshman squad. The JV squad for Aliso Niguel won that game against Dana Hill. So this is kind of the rubber match of the two schools, and you see another 5-yard penalty. So a little bit of trouble on the offensive line with Aliso Niguel. It'll be 3rd down and 20. They'll get their act together. No doubt about that. It's first game antsiness, Bill. It's first game jitters and timing. It's a whole different ball game when you leave the practice field and you come down and you're in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people and nobody's yelling at you in practice, really.
That's right.
A lot of distractions here.
What Bobby said earlier, Friday Night Lights, it brings out all kinds of things.
That's right.
And these are things that I think over the course of the season obviously get ironed out quickly. First night, a good chance to kind of get them out of your system. There's a nice slant pass to Andrew Mashburn, and that moves the ball almost to where we started this series. Now it's at about the 46-yard line. but that's going to bring up 4th down and really a nice defensive series for Dana Hills.
And you got to credit the punting, because without that big punt, without that great blocking by Dana Hills on that special teams play, they would not have pushed back Aliso Niguel as far as they did. So now it'll be 4th down and 7 to go. Any of those trick plays here? I don't think so, as the ball is snapped, and this is a huge kick, and it might favor Dana Hills as it goes out into the end zone, and they'll pick it up on the 20-yard line. So Dana Hills' offense trots back on field. They'll have it 1st down and 10 on the 20. And it's 3:18 to go in this 3rd quarter. I'm Paul Higgins on with Bill Cunity. Bobby Stout working the sidelines.
Perfect weather for football. I'm happy it's a little cooler than it's been, Paul. I know for all of the guys in this area, and for that matter, most of California, the way the weather's been, 95, 100-degree days, and I know coaches think, gee, that's great, guys get in shape. I know when we all played, we wanted it to be 65 degrees, a slight breeze, and give me a soft drink on the sidelines.
Good look at all the cheerleaders, song leaders here at Dana Hills High School. You got to get them on camera. 1st down and 10. Ball on the 20 for the Dolphins. They start fresh. They start new. Let's see what they can do. Hoffman with the pitch to Peraza. Peraza gets 5+ yards.
If you don't really learn to defense this option, this will give people a lot of trouble. Now, if they can come up with a passing game to come off of this, I think they're going to be very effective on offense.
Bill, you know, you mentioned the heat. I was in Hawaii for 5 days, came back to LAX, had about a 7-hour layover, and then I went to Oklahoma to do an event with ESPN, and it was 105. It was almost too hot to even jump in the pool. But while I was there, we were 5 minutes away from the federal building, which was blown up. And I tell you what, I've never had that kind of feeling. I remember when John F. Kennedy got killed, and I went back, and I was a young person then, obviously, and I went to his gravesite. And the same feeling that I got then, I've revisited just a week ago, and it was truly an amazing, amazing sight. It was something that I don't know how anybody could ever do that, but if you do go to Oklahoma anytime in the next year or so, go there and silent prayer and pay tribute to those people of Oklahoma, because they're super nice. And terrible tragedy, but let's hope something good comes out of it. But wanted to mention that because I think it's important. It's a part of American history now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing what we do to each other. You know, it's whew.
Well, that's why we're here tonight, to support local kids and get them on the right track. Peraza, heads up play. Boy, did he get popped in the backfield. Aliso Niguel was all over that in the backfield, coming up to make the play, Bill.
Well, there's a name we haven't talked a lot about, but boy, he had a great year last year, and that's Nick Gerasimu, and he came up and put a great tackle on the tailback. Here it is. Boom. Missed there, but didn't miss there. Number 24.
Talking about hacking, we hacked his name last year, didn't we?
Well, we did. We apologize for that. This year we're going to get it right.
3rd down and 12 now with 1:56 in the 3rd. These guys have run our clock down to a very quick 3rd quarter. I formation for the Dolphins. Matter of fact, we haven't even gone to a break yet. Kaufman over the middle, great pass.
All right.
And that's a good way, just shy of the 1st down.
Let me tell you, that was the next logical step in this sequence, is running that freeze option to be able to turn and hit that tight end who's been arc blocking all night long. And that was really, watch this, great execution. The spin by Aaron, great pass protection, looks like option, and he raises up and fires a dart. And that's
Nathan Blakely.
Very nice execution. Nathan Blakely makes the catch.
Bill, well, you know what?
I'm sure Bernie's happy.
Be 4th down and 1, and they are going to go for it. Peraza comes off the field, and the big burly man in the back. Got three running backs in the backfield. And there's a fumble. Kaufman takes it, and they call. The whistle blew right when it went off, Bill. 56 seconds to go, so it looks like Aliso Niguel is going to take over the football.
Tough thing there is you're trying to make something happen. It's a kind of a calculated gamble. You're in your own territory, and it's a kind of a mishandled exchange between the center and the quarterback. And for Dana Hills, that's a heartbreaker. And right now, if you're Aliso Niguel, 56 seconds left, the ball sitting on the 27-yard line, and you've got a great opportunity now to increase your lead.
So the Dolphins have tried twice now on 4th down, unsuccessful, but you got to go for those. I like the play of Trace Denicky. I know I would go for it.
There's
And
the
check
trap.
this out, the run around the left side, number 32, Wyatt Hayden, gets close, and he might have the first down depending on where they mark it. So the Dolphins still stinging from not making that first down. Fire themselves up on this play, see if they can hold the Wolverines. It's 13-6 right now. Dana Hill scored on an 88-yard touchdown by Peraza on a kickoff return. And that was back in the first quarter. Timeout. Officials timeout. There's 46 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter.
46 seconds, Paul. These quarters just fly by. I
They
tell you,
do.
if both teams stay on the ground, you know, this game could be over by 9:15. And I think that when you look at how much time is eaten up if you do run the ball, whether it be the option or the power offense that Aliso Niguel is using, you know, then that becomes a part of your game plan too. So, you know, if we can shrink the time of the game, and I think this will hold true for both of these teams as they get into league play and Dana Hills has to play the Capital Valleys in the modern days. I'll tell you what, if you can shrink the clock, it's to your advantage.
13-6, man in motion for Scott Nemeth and his Wolverines. Purley with the ball carry, he blasts through. Purley over 1-2 players close to the 2-yard line. So it'll be first down and goal to go for the Aliso Niguel Wolverines.
You know, we call that a power G, and that is that the guard on the onside of the play pulls and kicks out the end. The fullback leads through. See if you can see the guard pulling here. There's the snap. There goes the guard. He makes a really nice block. Number 61. We've got to give him credit out there. That was a terrific job. Garrett Castaneda with the nice kick-out block. And here comes
the gun. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with more as Aliso Niguel threatening to score. Welcome back to Dana Hills High School. Aliso Niguel, Scott Nemeth running the football, and the quarterback sneak does not get in. So we start the fourth quarter with 4 tries from right here as Aliso Niguel trying to put it up and make it 19-6. We want to thank U.S. Rentals for giving us a lift tonight. That's the shot you're seeing.
That was
from
pretty
there.
good.
Yeah,
Giving us a lift.
You know, they gave us a great shot of the end zone. They'll be working with us all year long. We taking care of those guys, Joe Marks? Aliso, U.S. Rentals, okay. (13-6). Last time it was Scott Nemeth that tried to run with the football. Let's see what they do here. You got Purley in the backfield. See if he goes over the top. It will be Purley, and he scoots in for the touchdown. So Purley on the 2-yard run makes it 19-6. Aliso Niguel.
Great power blocking by the left side of the Wolverine offensive line. And Paul, we see all the cheerleaders now from Aliso Niguel coming back behind the goalpost. And, you know, if we were talking about all the time that the pep squad, cheerleaders, band, drill team, all these people put in. We're looking down here in front of us. It's the Dana Hills cheerleaders and the Dolphin mascot. And then I look over there at the Wolverine mascots,
right.
Katie and Shannon. And Shannon is my soon-to-be 16-year-old daughter. That's right. It's scary.
Well, we'll have to talk about her.
Yeah.
The kick, and it's up, and it's good. The Dolphins down 20-6 with Aliso Niguel, and 11:09 to go in the football game. We'll be back. Welcome back to the game of the week. On the kickoff return, the Dolphins get it out to the 24-yard line, so it'll be first down and 10 with 10:55 to go in this game. Aliso Niguel leads at 20-6.
Dolphins in the spread, Paul. 4 wideouts, a single remaining back.
Aaron Kaufman, the quarterback.
There's the trap.
Hands it off to Peraza. He explodes into the backfield. He's got room to go. He gets close to the 50-yard line.
There's a fumble on the play, and Aliso Niguel has the ball. And I tell you, a tough break because Peraza just having himself a great night. And at the end of that run, he was stripped, which is good defense. And the Aliso Niguel Wolverines have the ball. They're going to spot it at the 47-yard line of Dana Hills.
Peraza with a great run. You see the ball that will get stripped on the outside. Check it on the inside. Number 21 from Aliso Niguel with a great play, stripping the ball. Credit Brian Todd, the linebacker at 6'4", 195 pounds.
Yeah, that's really a good defensive play. And you know, when Peraza came off the field, first guy there to give him a hug was Trace Deneke. You know, say, man, you're trying. If there's any mistake, it's just that you're trying so hard to get those extra yards that we lost the ball. But hey, this guy's going to be a force. I'll tell you what. You remember that name, number 22,
Julio
Peraza, 5'10", 188-pound sophomore.
Well, Trent Purley did a good job.
Trent Purley's been busting some runs.
He
which
sure
means,
has.
I'll tell you, it means, too, that the offensive line from Aliso Niguel is really doing their job.
So it'll be first down and 10. Ball's on the 33-yard line for Aliso Niguel, creeping back into near the red zone. Nemeth, Purley. Been that way all night. Purley goes over for about 4 yards. Bobby Stout once again on the sideline. She's been down all night with Dana Hills. Bobby checks in with this report.
Well, Paul, just a moment ago, I was listening to Trace Deneke trying to motivate his players. Even though Aliso Niguel has turned over the ball from Dana Hills, he was trying to tell his players that, you know, one of our biggest things we need to do tonight here is we need to keep up with the fundamentals. We must focus on the fundamentals, and you must discipline yourself. And he seemed to still think that, hey, we're still going to win this game. So good luck.
On the near side, and this young man has been doing the job for Aliso Niguel all night long. D'Angelo Gossett, both sides of the ball.
You know, that's a nice 1-2 punch they have. D'Angelo playing defense primarily, but he can come in and spell Trent Purley. And, you know, as the season goes on for both of these teams, what they're going to find is that everybody's going to get nicked and bruised and dinged a little bit. And I tell you, the more guys you have that are willing to pay the price and play, whether it's in a backup role or maybe going from offense to defense and stuff, you got to call on all the troops at one time or another.
9:21 to go in this game. The clock is running. Mashburn wide to the right. Purley in the backfield. He's the tailback. They hand it to the fullback, which is number 32 with Aliso Niguel, Wyatt Hayden. So it will be second down. I want to remind you that Ballpark Pizza Team is bringing you tonight's Athletes of the Week. Ballpark Pizza Team is your local pizza parlor with family fun for everyone. Come visit any of their 4 locations. If you're in Laguna Niguel, visit Ballpark Pizza Team in the town center and say a hello to Laura. Their second location in South Mission Viejo is off Crown Valley and Marguerite. Stop in and see Dave. Their third location in North Mission Viejo off Los Alisos and Trabuco. Come in and see the crew. And also in Rancho Santa Margarita, come in and say hello to Jim. Purley running the football, and again, at the end of tonight's game, we will be selecting 2 athletes, one from Aliso Niguel, one from Dana Hills, as the Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week.
Back-to-back outstanding defensive plays by number 47, Anthony Mitchell, for Dana Hills. But again, Aliso Niguel driving the ball, and I tell you who's really played himself a heck of a football game is number 54, Ryan Herbon, 6'1", 216-pound junior center. He's done a fine job all night, and you can say that for all the offensive linemen for Aliso Niguel.
Gossett in the backfield, and they hand it to Gossett right up the middle. He gets down to the 5-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Looks to be holding, and while they sort that out, we'd like to welcome Scarantino's Italian Inn as a sponsor of the Game of the Week. Located in Lake Forest just off the 5 at El Toro Road. They're part of a 50-year family tradition of fine Italian foods. Open for lunch and dinner, Scarantino's Italian Inn has reasonable prices, terrific service, the freshest foods, and weekly specials. Give them a call at 768-8757 and come taste their tradition at Scarantino's. You see on the instant replay, Gossett runs up. And Bill, do you pick out the penalty on this play?
Yeah, there's a holding call on the left of the screen. We can't see it anymore. You can see the flag come in, and umpire Matt Encinas with that call. The ball's now on the 19-yard line. It's going to be third down, and they've got to get the ball all the way down inside the 4-yard line for a first down.
Third down and 15 to go for a first.
Bootleg. There's a corner route. The corner route's open.
Mashburn.
He throws it.
Touchdown!
What a catch.
Oh my goodness.
What a catch. Andrew Mashburn. You could see the corner route as the play developed. I'm not sure we have it on the replay, but I tell you, Scott Nemeth throws him a great ball, but what a catch by Andrew Mashburn. He's got to get a smaller jersey, Paul. Look at this. he gets minus points there from Gentleman's Quarterly. because now watch this. Here's the bootleg at the top of the screen. You see good defense on Mashburn, but Scott Nemeth throws a ball about the only place he can here, just a little underthrown. But look at this. One hand to stop the momentum of the ball, and then he catches it flat on his back. That's a wonderful play by Andrew Mashburn. Now, I'll tell you what, I know it's been a tough summer for Andrew. Lost his father this summer to cancer, and I know his dad's looking in tonight and watching this, and he's very proud of this young man.
He caught that ball for his dad. No good.
Wonderful play.
Well, the score is 26-6. We'll be back with more high school football here on Channel 3 in just a moment. Welcome back, 26-6. Second down and 10 for the Dolphins.
Oh, a tight end screen.
They're going to pick up the first down, so a major play for Dana Hills here in the fourth quarter. It kind of
looks like Blakely again.
Yeah, to boost their optimism. They need something. They need a shot in the arm right now, and if they can get something going. Bill, they haven't scored on an offensive drive yet. You got to remember they scored on a kickoff return. So if they can get something out of this, they'll feel proud.
They have moved the ball tonight. I think, as we said, Julio Peraza has done a terrific job. I think Aaron Kaufman's done a terrific job. If they can keep the passing game intact too, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. And I'll tell you what they need right now for this program, and I'm sure Tracy did, they just need a win. Just get a win under your belts and get going again.
Kaufman being rushed. He'll be brought down in the backfield. That time he held on the ball. Looked like he was trying to get the ball out to Peraza. No time there. Kaufman quickly off the ground, looks over to Trace Deneke.
I'll tell you what, in watching the execution of the bootleg pass for the touchdown, Scott Nemeth, let's watch this. The backside rush is what's catching him right now. And when you run that pass, you've either got to throw it to the tight end, or as you can see, if you dump it off to the swing back, who is the option guy, that's also a pretty good play. I'd give it to Peraza. I think he'd do okay. But Scott Nemeth on that bootleg, when he threw the ball on the corner route, just a tick underthrown. But Andrew Mashburn, in the paper tomorrow, it's still a touchdown.
That's right. Yeah. Well, there's a penalty flag. Stoppage in the action will go down to Bobby Stout as the score is 26-6. With 6:09 left in this contest, the Wolverines lead it.
Well, Paul, I just got back from talking to Andrew, number 85 over on the Aliso Niguel side, and I asked him about that great touchdown catch he just caught. He said that all he knew was they told him to go the post corner to make sure it was open. He said he tipped it up and he caught it. He couldn't even think about it. He didn't know what he was feeling. He just had a huge smile on his face when it was all done.
All right.
Good report, Bobby. I'll tell you what, that's probably the best part. I know that smile, and Andrew's got quite a smile, and I'm certain he's a pretty happy young man. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against Aliso Niguel. Not quite sure why, but that moves the ball to the 45-yard line of Aliso Niguel. 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in this game, and the Dolphins with the ball.
Hey, touchdown, onside kick.
Oh, hey.
We're back in business.
Put it together.
Man in motion is Peraza. I wouldn't doubt it if they give it to him somehow. Kaufman.
See, there's the tight end again.
Oh, beautiful play. Okay. Beautiful play by the Dolphins. Number 30 with the catch for Dana Hills High School. Kaufman with a nice play action fake. Wilger. Boy, nice job by Kaufman.
Excellent job by the quarterback. And I'll tell you, I like Trace's idea here with the tailback in motion, because you're getting your best running back in a position outside where he's going to be one-on-one against somebody. Number 30 on that route wide open, and that's Jeremy Wilger, and they're in the offset eye right now, and let's see if they don't run Julio left here.
First down and 10. Whoop. Kaufman rolling back.
That tight end screen again.
Blakely, he pounds to the 25-yard line.
Okay, I like the effort there by number 75 tackle. That's Luis Mora. 6'3" and 298 pounds, and he moved it all down there.
So Los Alamitos rated #1 in the nation. What a burden to have on the back of your shoulders. I know Coach John Barnes is like,
John
wow.
John loves it. You know what? He's done such a wonderful job there with that program, and I think that
44-0 and too bad to start the season.
The skill position players that he possesses this year, Tony Hartley and Stan Guinness and Federick, the quarterback, they're going to beat a lot of teams by a lot of points. I think when it comes time for the playoffs, that's obviously a team to be reckoned with, as I'm sure Mater Dei will be. My sleeper team, though, the Cougars.
Capistrano Valley.
Capistrano Valley. I think Dave Brown's got himself quite a football team. And
we'll see that in a couple weeks.
Malafo's an exciting football player.
Yes, he is.
And you know what? Really terrific young man.
Yep. Last year, remember when we were doing Tribuco, you and I were at Tribuco in Capistrano Valley. I was doing that game, and I went up to him at halftime, and I said, Mr. McKenzie, no, he came up to me and said, hey, Paul, thanks for the athlete of the week last week. I said, no problem. I turn around, and he runs an 85-yard touchdown back.
He's a neat young man.
Kaufman.
Bootleg.
Fakes it to Peraza, looking for someone in the end zone.
Now, the one thing about the bootleg pass, and that is it comes off of play action, and a bootleg should always come off your best running play. So they're selling the tailback here, and the only thing from a quarterback standpoint that's a little scary about the bootleg is your back is turned to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And sometimes you get some interesting surprises.
Well, Brian McSweeney is the head basketball coach at Dana Hills High School. On October 1st, they're going to have a celebrity softball game. If you're interested in going to that, call 496-6666, extension 242. The night before, they're going to have a Monte Carlo night. Again, if you're interested, call 496-6666, extension 242. And I know that the Dolphin Gym has had a facelift, and it looks pretty sharp nowadays. So,
hey, listen, Brian, for $26 million, you can get Dion to play in your basketball game or your softball game. He's for sale right now.
Brian McSweeney's standing next to Bill Cunardy and Brian running the game clock here.
All you got to do is get Pepsi-Cola and Nike to back you, and you're in. There you go.
Remind me, I have a story to tell you, Bill, after we're all done here tonight. Something exciting happening. Beside the fact I be hosting the World Championships of Skateboarding October 1st. Ooh. I want to have everybody come out to this. It's going to be a hot event at the Hard Rock in Newport Beach. The best vert skateboarders in the world. Tony Hawk, Neil Hendricks, Tom Boyle, those kind of guys going off big time.
I watched you in the Extreme Games, and that Tony Hawk is something.
He is amazing.
He
stands about 6 foot plus, and he can ride a skateboard like nobody ever has. Kaufman, he's going to get nailed. Yep. Big play by Aliso Niguel. A lot of credit to number 43, Bill.
That's Rich Lewis, and I'll tell you, Rich is a guy who I'm certain is going to be a tremendous player before he's done. I've watched Rich grow from about 5'10" to right now he's about 6'4". Watch him come off the backside here. He has contained responsibility. When he sees there's nobody deeper than he is, then he comes after the quarterback. So a really nice play by Rich Lewis, a real terrific young man. And if he keeps growing, I wouldn't want to buy clothes for that guy, because I think he's going to be about 6'5" or 6'6", and maybe weigh 230 or 40 pounds someday.
Well, Bill, you and I got a tough decision to make at the end of the game. 2 athletes of the week for Ballpark Pizza Team. Not going to be easy. Pearly, boy.
Oh, he runs hard, doesn't he? Does a real fine job.
He can get up the field. Can we call him Burley at the same time?
Burley, Pearly.
Yeah. Can we say that without offending him? Because he can run the ball very aggressively.
We had all kinds of names for Robbie Schmitz when he played for us.
Robbie's great.
Pokey was his real nickname. So
Cody. Cody's
oh, listen, I saw my man Cody Schmitz tonight before the game, and he couldn't wait to tell me that he has a brand new golf club, and he said, Coach Q, will you cut it down for me?
Just to limit the phone calls coming into my office in the next couple of weeks, Robbie Schmitz will be the color commentator for the Saddleback College game coming up at the end of September when Gauchos play their first home game of the year. So
that seems like a long ways away. We're not home until the 30th of September, so I'm really excited about my group of guys. They've worked very, very hard the first 3.5 weeks of practice. We're getting tired of hitting each other, Paul.
I bet.
So we don't play until next week, but I'm getting excited. Can't wait for it to get here.
Well, you're going to do a great job. You got some great players up there, and I know picked a quarterback yet? Can you let that?
Yeah, I'm playing.
Oh, you're playing?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pick them.
2:50 to go in the game. I won't be able to squeak that out of Bill on camera here in case something happens in practice. It looks as though I'm looking right down and somebody's lined offside.
You could see that. You could see that.
And it wasn't Dana Hills. But they give it to him, and the officials doing a good job tonight. This is their first game of the year. I tell you what, the Dana Hills Dolphins cheerleaders, song leaders are doing a heck of a job entertaining this crowd. This young lady
That's about
is doing
7, 8, 9 backflips.
9, yeah.
You could do that, Paul. I know you're rather gymnastically inclined. My second flip would be a concussion. It'd be out for the year.
9 consecutive back handsprings.
That's terrific.
Bad. Well, Bill, first down and 10, 2:25 to go in the game. Aliso Niguel will win this game. A rival game of Aliso Niguel and Dana Hills.
Oh, fine play on defense. Number 24 coming in on the blitz that time for Dana Hills was Aaron Shook. We've got an injured player for Aliso Niguel.
Well, Bill, with that timeout on the field, we'll step aside. 2:10 to go in the game. 26-6, Aliso Niguel. We'll be back with more right after this. Go to her. 1:41 to go in the game. 26-6, Aliso Niguel will be victorious tonight. Moments from now, we'll be selecting the Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week. And just seconds from now, we'll go down on the field. Bobby Stout has a young lady that she will be interviewing. Maybe it's that girl that did 9 consecutive back handsprings.
Oh, I still have a headache watching that.
Boy, I tell you what, timeout on the field. We'll go down to the interview right after this. I want to thank the officials tonight. I want to thank Tina Horspool, our director, and Mike Connolly, our production supervisor, and all the crew here at Cox Cable, Athletes in Motion, the Game of the Week. I want to say hello to Leo Brennan, who heads us all up, does a great job, and Yvette Welch, our executive producer. Scott Nemeth with the handoff to Peraza. And boy, is he an electrifying player. We go down on the field to Bobby Stout, and she checks in with a young lady that she's going to interview. Bobby, who do you have? Well, we'll check in with her in just a second. Actually, let's go try it one more time. Okay, Bobby, what do you think?
Sorry about that, Paul. With me right now is Kendra Oakes. She's the varsity head cheerleader for the cheerleading team for Dana Hills. And yes, she is the girl that was doing 9 consecutive backflips in a row. Is that right? How many there were?
I lost. I don't count. I just do them.
Tell me, how did you learn how to do that many backflips in a row?
I started gymnastics when I was 9 years old, and I've just kept up all the way through. I still do it.
Is that a requirement now to be on cheerleading?
Not at our school, but at a lot of other schools, yes, it is a requirement.
Tell me, does it get dizzy?
Yeah, if you do too many, you have to kind of know your boundaries so you don't go over. Because I have fallen before.
All right, well, great. It looked good. Back to you guys.
All right, they're having some fun down there. And at the same time, number 22, Peraza, goes for, no, it wasn't Peraza. Who was that?
D'Angelo Gossett.
I'm saying Peraza. D'Angelo Gossett.
He's done a nice job on consecutive plays. That one was almost a touchdown.
Thank you, Bill. I'm giving somebody else a credit here. Now,
you know what?
Julio credit for Aliso Niguel runs.
What I'd do if I was D'Angelo now, because it's happened to him twice, I think I'd take that jersey. You see how it's kind of, I'd tape that sucker down so tight it was like a wetsuit.
You know, D'Angelo's got
That's the only way they caught him.
He's got the sweetest voice, if I can say that. He's got a great voice. He's just a real entertaining young man, D'Angelo Gossett. Had him on the football preview, and he's just smiling all the time. You know, I'm having a great time. I love football. He just wants to play and hit somebody.
I'll tell you.
He also likes to run around him, too.
One of the things about your preview that I really enjoyed was the quality of the kids that were on there talking about their schools. My goodness. That's makes a great statement for the student athletes of South Orange County. And also, if I might say, too, watching the coaches. We've got such a tremendous group of coaches here in the county. Obviously, articulate, well-spoken people, but the best thing they do is care about the kids they coach.
That's right. We'll see 2 very good coaches next week, and Bill Denny and Terry Hennigan. So that will be the end of the game as Scott Nemeth sits down, and we'll call it quits tonight as they will be victorious. Aliso Niguel winners 26-6. When Bill and I come back on the Game of the Week, we will have the Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week. That's in just a moment. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game of the Week. The final score 26-6. Aliso Niguel Wolverines victorious over the Dana Hills Dolphins. Our Ballpark Pizza Team Athletes of the Week selected by both Bill Cunity and I. Julio Peraza for the Dolphins and Trent Purley for the Wolverines. Bill, any closing thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think both of those guys probably owe a lot to their offensive linemen because they all did a great job opening holes up for them. And You know, we have a visitor in the booth here, Scott Maynard, who quarterbacked the Dolphins last year and is now a professional baseball player.
So I want to congratulate
wish
Scott.
Good luck, Scott.
Hey, I want to wish everybody good luck in the 1995 high school football season. It didn't get started the way Trey Stenicky wanted it to, but I guarantee you he is thinking about the next game already. And we want to wish the Dolphins much luck in the 1995 season, as well as Aliso Niguel. We will see these teams once again sometime during the year. For Bill Cunity, for Cox, and for Athletes in Motion, thanks so much for watching. I'm Paul Higgins. We'll see you next week with the game of the week will be Mission Viejo and Irvine. Good night, everybody.